Welcome back to another episode of Cheezy Reacts, where I take a look at the latest news, viral clips, and all that of the interweb. Today we're taking a look at the gaming space with Counter-Strike 2. So I'm a big fan of this game, I've been playing it for years now. Competitive shooter if you're not familiar with it. But one of the big things about it is the skin market. A ever-living, ever-breathing, ever-changing market of skins you can put on the Steam market, sell, trade, buy, all that stuff with actual real money. And it's one of the most accessible games I've seen in terms of that. You can go in with a free account and end up having an inventory of hundreds of dollars just by selling cases or opening up cases, stuff like that. So I was able to do that for a long period of time. So all that to say, knives are the rarest and highest priced commodity in the game. They're gold items, which are reserved only for gloves and knives. And knives are, like I said, the rarest thing in the game. There's about a 0.001% chance of actually opening up a knife from the cases. And people have talked about the gambling aspect of that, but basically these cases open and it randomly selects a skin, or if you get super lucky, you get a knife. But anyways, these were going for very high price, $300, $400, $500 for a long period of time now. And over time, the prices for these knives have gone up substantially. That is, until now. With the newest update that just occurred yesterday on October 22nd, you can now trade in 5 covert items, which, if you don't know on the scale of rarity, basically covert is right behind the gloves and the knives. So the gold is gloves and knives. Right before it is red, so extremely rare skins. And then it goes down from there, obviously. But the red is ultra rare as well. So if you have 5 red items or 5 rare skins, you can trade those in for 1 knife. And what this has done is completely plummeted the knife market, and all the covert weapon skins have skyrocketed. And what people were doing is running and trying to find the cheapest covert guns, right? Because there's a lot of rare skins for not so good weapons. There's pistols and shotguns and stuff like that, and people went for those and tried to buy them in bulk or whatnot, and then tried to trade them up. And because of that demand, the prices for the covert weapons have all skyrocketed up. You could see the market right now. These skins used to go for $7, and overnight now they're going for $30, $40 now. And this goes for all the covert skins. And for some of these guns like the MP7, the AK, the OP, the MP9, the P250, all these covert skins have just skyrocketed. So people can make bank on those. But subsequently, the knife price have plummeted. So like I was saying, the $300, $400 knives are now $100 knives and are a lot more accessible. So really, it's just totally shifted the entire market. These gold items, the knives and the gloves, have totally plummeted, and then the covert weapons have gone up. So is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? So it's good for some people and not good for other people. So for the common player, for the casual player that could never afford a knife, could never afford a glove, this is a lot better for them. And I feel like a lot of people are that casual player. People don't want to spend $200, $300 on a knife. So having this sort of switch around at the market is not necessarily a bad thing. Knives are a lot cheaper now, so a lot more people can now access the knife. Instead of having to pay $300, $400 now, maybe they can drop $70 for a knife instead, which is still a lot, honestly, for skin. But nowadays, that's pretty normal for something like that. But that's more accessible now. Also, the investors, the people who were kind of hoarding up or investing in these knives for long-term gain, you know, keeping on to these really rare knives, perhaps that's not going to be good for them. But I don't know what percentage of the community is actually, you know, looking at the long-term and just bought a bunch of these knives and that are holding them or whatnot. So for those people, I mean, it's not a huge deal. And super ultra rare knives are still going to go for a crap ton of money. So that's never going away. If you have the Dopplers, Factor New, all that stuff, while the price may not be as much as it was before, it's still going to be a ton of money if I'm not mistaken. But like I was saying, apparently I was reading up on some people who are actually hoarding up all these rare knives, and that's going to plummet. So if you think about it though, it does kind of even out as of right now. If you're trying to do that, if you're really trying to do the trade up contract thing, you would have had to do that immediately or already have covert. So I would encourage you, if you do have a covert weapons in your inventory, I would check that. Obviously coverts are extremely rare though. I don't think I've ever gotten, I think I've bought 1 covert gun before, and it was an M4A1S, but that's it. The coverts are extremely rare as it is, you know, let alone a knife. But still, it's a lot more rare to even have like an MP7 or some kind of P250 lesser monster used gun or pistol or something, covert. That's rare. So if for some reason you have a bunch in your inventory, I would definitely sell them. But it kind of evens out though, because if they're going for $35, $40, $45 and you need 5 of them, if you do the math of that, that's like $200 worth of weapons for a knife now that's not going to be worth that, you know? And you don't even know, you might also get gloves, and gloves are a lot cheaper than knives. While they're still gold, gloves are not nearly as valuable. Even before this update, they were not even as valuable. So it's going to even out. In fact, you're probably going to start losing money if you try to do this now, because maybe in the long run it might not be like that, but yeah, I'm looking at the market right now and nothing is under $30. So even if you just get, I don't know, several $35 skins, that's going to be what, $175 for a knife that is barely going to be worth $150. So you're going to be losing money if you try to do that. It's really just completely switched it around. But rip to those investors that were, you know, looking for a long-term gain on some of their knives. But those who collected a bunch of covert items, have at it in the market. But really an insane update to kind of drop in there. They also did a few other things. They added retakes and did some map changes. But yeah, this trade-up contract is definitely going to be the big talk of the town right now. I don't know how long-term it's going to look like. I don't know what's going to happen to the market. I'm guessing everything's kind of going to go down in price eventually, I think. At this point, it'll kind of even out at some point. But right now, yeah, it's totally flipped out sideways. So sell those coverts. But I'm Cheezy Muffin, and hope you enjoyed watching this. If you made it this far in the video, click that subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos just like this. And that's the way the muffin crumbles.